The United States has waged a trade war against China, going all out. But China announced that in the first half of this year, its trade surplus with the world reached $590 billion. It seems like the trade war hasn't really affected them much. By them, I mean China. Now, I'm curious, is this huge surplus because China is just that good at selling things? Or is China currently focusing on something else? What exactly is China focusing on right now? Is it focusing on certain countries? And in this video, there will be some unusual updates about China's economy for you to see. For example, whether it's on the surface of the Earth, beneath the surface, under the water, or even out in space, there's something to talk about. You can support this video by scanning this QR code, or you can support the Thai Money Monster channel easily by just liking, sharing, or joining the conversation right here. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe so that next time we upload a video, you won't miss it. Thank you. Now, let's take a look at China's trade balance sheet. Wow, the latest bar, if we add it all up, it's $590 billion in surplus. Now, let's look at the export value. Let's look at China's numbers for 2025, just the first half of the year. If you look at this black bar, you'll see the value is $1.8 trillion, which is even higher than last year. Now, with Donald Trump imposing all those trade tariffs on China and even telling neighboring countries, hey, you need to raise tariffs on China too, did it actually affect China? Yes, it did. Was China able to export less to America? Yes, that's true. It really hurt because no one can deny that the US market is the biggest in the world. That's why China's exports to the US in June dropped by 16%. And in May, they dropped by as much as 34%. But it seems like China isn't giving up. Even though they can't sell as much to the US, China says, I can still sell to Asia, especially China says that with the 10 Southeast Asian countries, they were able to increase their sales by 17%, making up for what was lost. You could say that this trade war that Donald Trump started, whether it will make America great again or not, who knows? But it seems like it's actually helping China to become great again, and they don't even need the US in the equation. And when people say that China is selling goods in Asia, focusing on Asia, what exactly is China focusing on in Asia right now? Let me share in case you want to follow along. Here it is. China is investing in aluminum in Indonesia. Chinese companies are investing billions of dollars in Indonesia. Aluminum is an important resource because it's a key material for producing high-tech industries. For example, in an EV car, the weight, 100% of it is already aluminum, about 15 to 20%. And aluminum is also used to make semiconductors. So China investing in aluminum in Indonesia is part of its resource acquisition strategy. This could be a point where China can counter the United States. Because if you ask whether the US needs aluminum, the answer is, of course, America needs aluminum. But then if you ask again, and is the aluminum supply in the United States sufficient just for domestic consumption? The answer is no. The US is also a country that needs to import aluminum. About 50% of the aluminum it requires must be imported. If you ask who America imports from, well, one of them is Thailand, though that's just a small amount. The major imports come from the UAE, the EU, and Canada. The total value of aluminum imports to the United States, on which they're raising import tariffs, is about $12 billion. That's already a lot. But what the US has done so far is a bit confusing. The US has raised import tariffs, right? Especially on those who sell aluminum to America. They cited the aluminum section and also things like steel, raising tariffs by 50%. Whatever the case, what's certain is that industries in the US, anyone who needs to import steel or aluminum, will now face higher costs. At least 50%. With costs going up like this, it means products will have to be more expensive too. The ability to compete with foreign countries will drop because, well, your costs are higher, but the quality of your product stays the same. So let me ask, as a customer, who would want to buy? It's just confusing. Maybe Donald Trump's trade war strategy for the US is better because in any case, whoever wants to sell to me will have to sell at a higher price. Raising tariffs means that American businesses that need to import things like aluminum or steel will have to pay more to bring them in, right? So now you have to look at whether the domestic supply is enough. Turns out, I'm not sure if America thought this through, but it seems like they didn't prepare for domestic aluminum supply. So they're blocking others from selling to them, but they don't have enough for themselves. Then China says, well, if that's the case, America, are you just going to block trade with everyone? For now, they're blocking trade, but at the same time, China is going around buying up resources first. That means investing in aluminum in Indonesia, and this time, China's investment in Indonesia's aluminum industry is different from when they invested in rare earths in South Africa. Because this time, China isn't just coming to mine, they're investing in smelting as well. China has laid out both maps and plans along this route to establish aluminum smelting plants in Indonesia. 6 plants by 2030, which are expected to be able to produce a massive amount of aluminum. This is another long-term game that China is playing, because if China is the one investing, it means that the aluminum resources can become a circulating supply within China and its allied countries. And the country that's closest to China, even if it's a somewhat loose partnership, is BRICS. Within BRICS, aluminum will be a supply that can circulate quite flexibly. As for the United States, as we can see, it currently imports from the UAE and Canada. If those imports are sufficient, then that's fine. But if at any point the imports aren't enough and the US has to rely on countries where China has invested or on Chinese aluminum, that could be a problem. China's investment in resources. Aluminum isn't the first. They've already invested in a variety of areas. Right now, China is especially interested in investing in energy. One thing that China just announced as a success is that they've managed to continuously generate nuclear energy from a thorium reactor. I already covered this in my video about thorium. Go check out that clip. If this turns out to be successful, China will become a leader in this field. Energy that could completely transform the supply chain and make fossil fuels obsolete in this world. But it's not that easy. Besides, China has a long-term plan to build its own EV empire, right? I've already talked about this in the Epic EV video, that China has already gone out and bought up rare earth resource sites that are essential for producing EV batteries in South Africa. When it comes to resources, let me tell you, China isn't just looking on land, they're even going under the sea. This is a project where China sent robots down to explore deep-sea trenches that are 10,000 meters deep under the South China Sea, to search for important minerals that allow underwater life to survive. They say that if resources on land are already so valuable, the ones under the sea are even more precious. So besides searching on land and under the ocean, China is also doing something else. China is drilling down to the Earth's core. They have a project to drill a hole as deep as possible. So deep that, wow, it's supposed to reach the Earth's core, deeper than anyone has ever drilled before. Russia actually used to be the one that drilled the deepest hole, but they didn't get as deep as China plans to go. Drilling down to the Earth's core like that isn't easy. If you want to hear more about drilling to the center of the Earth, leave a comment. I'll go find more information about the Earth's core to share with you, but honestly, I'm a bit confused about what kind of resources China is after. It's not just on land or under the sea, but even the Earth's core. Maybe the Earth isn't enough for China to explore, so now they're heading to the moon, Chang'e, or the Luna program. Wow, Chang'e is the name of the Chinese moon goddess, you know? They've even sent spacecraft to the moon, and there are plans to have humans settle there. And then they discovered that they found natural formations that are like caves on the moon, and they said they plan to modify them into homes where people can live, breathe, and even grow vegetables and crops, stuff like that. They've already started working on it, and I talked about this in a previous video. Go check that one out. So if you ask whether the United States is worried, well, China is definitely a cause for concern. But honestly, what the US is most worried about when it comes to China isn't trade. Trade is a concern, but it's not the biggest one. The thing the US is most concerned about with China is security. You can see that over the past 23 years, the United States has done everything it can to block China from accessing high technology, especially NVIDIA semiconductors. But in a previous video, I already mentioned that China is planning to set up a data center base in the middle of a desert, and they've openly announced it. Bloomberg even made a whole piece about it. China declared that they want hundreds of thousands of NVIDIA chips. The question is, if they're making such a public announcement, how are they going to get them? At the very least, you have to wonder, are they going to get them legally? So is NVIDIA going to sell to them? Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, came out and commented on what the US government is doing, going all out to block China. He said the US doesn't need to worry about NVIDIA secretly sending chips to China, and that China won't end up building some mighty base powered by American chips or anything like that. Jensen Huang said, honestly, China doesn't even need chips from the US. They have Huawei, they have Chinese engineers, and they have people who can manufacture chips themselves. They already have Chinese scientists, and Chinese chips can already be used for things like missiles and aircraft. There's no need to worry. China doesn't need NVIDIA's chips to do any of this. Let's listen to what he had to say. The change mill, the innovation, every friend, they mark another style. Long Need and Video Art Shop, Search Logi, One Market Can Tax, DAX Innovative Bell, the innovation. And in this tense situation, Jen Hussein Huang doesn't seem to be too concerned about his own government and went to visit China. It got to the point where the US government had to come out and warn him, take it easy, Huang. But still, if we look back, China's trade surplus has reached as much as $590 billion. Is this trade surplus with the US because China is really selling that much stuff? Well, yes, China really is selling a lot. But is it because China is so hot and popular that it can easily find replacement markets? Not exactly. Let me explain. China really does sell a lot, especially in the first quarter, right before Donald Trump raised import tariffs. Actually, that move made the US itself rush to order more goods from China before the tariffs kicked in. So there were a lot of orders in that first quarter. So if you want to look at China's economy, is this a good thing? There are actually a lot of problems. And if we're talking about the latest issues in China's economy, we can't ignore the EV price war. If you want to hear more about this, the Money Monster channel has already covered it, so stay tuned for the next episode.